Hi group. Let's move on to this lesson 3 extension. So we're still talking about triangles, but now I want to talk about their measures of the angles within. So the sum of the angle measures of a triangle, if you add up all of the angles that make up a triangle, it's going to equal 180 degrees. So if we added up our X, Y, and Z angles here, we would set that equal to 180 degrees. Let's do a few examples together here. Our first triangle, this pink triangle, we want to find the value of X, and then we are going to classify that triangle. So first, I know, based off of my key idea, that these 3 angle measures have to add up to 180. So let's set up that equation. I'm going to add X plus 28 plus 50 should all equal 180. Now combine your like terms and solve for X. So for this problem, I'm getting X to equal 102 degrees. So now I know this is a 102 degree angle. Now let's classify this angle. This is an obtuse angle, so I'm going to call this an obtuse based off of its angle measures. And now let me take a look at the sides. Are any of them congruent? No, so I'd call this an obtuse scalene triangle. Let's move on to this green triangle to the right. Again, find the value of X and then classify the triangle. So I have these 3 angle measures. Now think about, what does a right angle equal? I'm going to think 90 degrees, so I'm adding 90, 45, and X together, and they should all equal 180. I'm going to combine my like terms and then solve for X. When I do 180 minus 135, I'm getting X to equal a 45 degree angle. Lastly, let's classify this triangle. I see that right angle, so that is my top kind of angle that takes over. We need one right angle. This is going to be identified as a right. And now let me take a look at those sides. Are any of them congruent? I see 2 congruent sides, so we call this a right isosceles triangle. Let's keep moving on. Let's look at these flags here. Again, we're finding the value of X and then classifying the triangle. Let's set up our equation. So this is my triangle within here. It's what I'm looking at. So I have X plus X. That's going to give me 2X plus 128 should all equal 180. Now solve for X. When I do 180 minus 128, I'm getting 52. Divide that by 2, and X is going to equal 26 degrees here. I'm noticing that this is an obtuse angle, so I'm going to classify this triangle as an obtuse, 2 congruent sides, so an obtuse isosceles. And my last triangle here is this red triangle within this flag. I see X and X, that gives me 2X plus 60 should all equal 180 degrees. Solving for X, divide 120 by 2, I get X to equal 60 degrees. Last thing to do here is to classify it. I see, really X is 60, so I see 60, 60, 60. I see 3 congruent angles. So we're going to call this an equiangular. Yep, there's that word. All equal angles. And guess what? If all of the angles are equal, that means all of the sides are equal as well. So whenever we have an equiangular triangle, it's also equilateral. And that's it. That is our lesson 3.